Yeah, it was the top place match between Egypt and Nigeria, and of course, it is what I call the losers final. And of course, you will have thought that since it's a third place match, it could have just been a neutral playing ground, but no, it wasn't. There were also crazy officiating in the game, but I would say the officiating was more balanced in a bit, at least like 20% against Nigeria as compared to the one we had against Morocco, which was like 80% against Nigeria. So the Super Eagles scored two or three goals that were cancelled. As a matter of fact, the first goal that was scored by Akko Adams, it was supposed to be a neat goal. It was cancelled because the set leading to the goal, Paulo Nacho, able touched the defender's face. Of course, they were struggling for the ball. It was a cross. And he's able to touch his face. And of course, trust the Egyptians. They will fall to the ground and pretend that they're dying and all of that. But it was a clear-cut goal, neat goal. And it was chopped off. But that notwithstanding, Super Eagles still held it because this was practically the second team of the Nigerian side because this was not our first team. No, indeed, it was not there. Osimhen was not there. Wilfred indeed was not there. Alex Iwobi wasn't even there. Abasi wasn't there. So our first team players, over six of them, were not in this game. Yes, even Ademola Lookman, they were not there. They were not there throughout the first half. It was towards the end of the game, in second half, that the other guys got tired. They just brought them on around 60th or thereabout minutes, and they stayed through the game. And they had decent calls and decent opportunities as well. But the Egyptians, of course, they were not good enough. They couldn't even beat our defense, even without passing the defense. They couldn't still beat our defense line. Nwabali was exceptional doing his thing during the game. And then, of course, excellence, two saves in the penalty shootouts. Of course, I know Nwabali will always catch a penalty or two. That's his way. If there's nothing Nwabali is good for, he's good for that one. If you play five penalties against Nwabali, the odds are 100% he will catch one. That's Nwabali. And even the last penalty that we had against Morocco, I told my friend who was watching me, I said, see, Nwabali is going to give Nigeria the lead, but will our players be able to score? And unfortunately, our players didn't score. But in this one, Nigeria started the penalty playoff, and Nigeria lost their first penalty. Nwabali stood up and made sure he caught the first and second penalty of the Egyptians to give Nigeria the lead. And from there onwards, it was all Nigeria. And then Ademola scored a brilliant last penalty kick to give Nigeria the third place medal and trophy. Congratulations to Nigeria. And the take in this whole game, which I'll still come and do for the team, is that no team in Africa, whether big or small, has been able to beat the Super Eagles. And it's not a fluke. It means the coach and the boys have done something exceptional. Egypt could not beat them, even though it's our second team. Morocco could not beat, even with all the crazy officiating. Algeria could not beat. Tunisia could not beat. Tanzania could not beat. Mozambique could not beat. So even if we had met whoever, Senegal, whoever in this tournament, I am not sure there is any team that will have been able to beat the Super Eagles of Nigeria with the spirits with which they went into this tournament. And it's a good thing that they are not going home empty-handed. They are going home with the third place position. And this is retaining the position of being the best team in Africa when it comes to the Nations Cup, because the Super Eagles doesn't go to the Nations Cup without going home with a medal. They usually go home with the second or the top place medal almost each time they go to the Nations Cup. And it's a plus for them. And I'm happy for the boys. And we can only build on what we've got now and go forward. And I don't think there's anything that's better than the Super Eagles in Africa. Squad depth, defense, midfield, attacks. Right now, Super Eagles are the best team in Africa. And anyone who wants to beat it, of course, should bring it on. Congratulations to the boys. And then, of course, see you on the next one. This is Coach Whitby. Love you. Share, like, and follow.